There's so many photographers out there making content. So you got to ask yourself, how do I stand out? How come no one notices me? How come I'm not getting enough likes? Maybe I should add more things to my pictures. Maybe I should start doing composites. Oh, I heard street photography's trending. Maybe I should make TikToks. That's it. Oh shit, I can tell people that I shoot weddings. Oh my god, there's a cool car. I can shoot pictures of that cool car. I like dogs. Why are these photographers who have these kinds of headspaces not getting any attention? The biggest question that every photographer has, how can I make my photography stand out? By the way, the reason that your photographs stand out could be so many different things. It could be a combination of so many different things. Obviously, if your work isn't in front of me, I can't tell you what you're doing exactly wrong. But today, I'm going to talk about the two things that photographers often miss. And really, these two things are the two most important aspects of your photography career. The two most important things. And if you get nothing else out of today's episode, know that these two things are the maker or the breaker of your photography life. It's super simple. Get a pen. Today is a bit of a lecture style. The most important thing, really, the number one most important thing about your photography is this. Your photography style. Your photographic style, how you see with the camera, is the most important aspect of your photography. Much like how we put a signature on a check or a document, much how that is different every time, how each of us see through the camera is absolutely different as well. Our style is how we see with the camera. Our rules, the things that we do in order to make our photographs look like our photographs. If you want to make a really big mark in the photography world today in 2023, you have to look at the masters of the past, what they did before us with shitty equipment on film better. We have to look at the photographers that didn't see their photographs until they were developed. Photographers that lived lives and had careers before Photoshop, before post-production. Photographers like Joseph Karsh, photographers like Richard Avedon, Helmut Newton. These photographers, there's so many masters from years gone by. All of them became famous for one thing. Their very, very distinct signature style. And as we look at some images of Karsh, of Avedon, oh my God, Richard Avedon. As we look at images of Joseph Karsh, this is Richard Avedon on the screen. And of course, my absolute favorite, Helmut Newton. All of them became famous for their distinct signature style. It's our style that brings all the boys to the yard. Those photographers, by the way, that you worship, it's their style that has you shaking your head. It's their style, their essence, how they shoot, how they see with the camera. That is what should be keeping you up at night. It's natural, by the way, for us to want to imitate our favorite photographers. It's a natural progression. You start with imitation before you move into developing your own signature style. Just know that emulation, by the way, is just that. It's imitation. Our goal should always be looking inwards for inspiration as much as we're looking elsewhere. The true masters of the past, they became famous for one style, one visual signature, and some of them became famous for one picture. Helmut Newton has made so many unbelievably magic, one-of-a-kind pictures. He single-handedly changed fashion. Before Helmut Newton, fashion was boring. After Helmut Newton, fashion was sexy. So one thing that I know that newer photographers try all the time is Style of the Month Club, which is they see what's trending on Instagram and they shoot the kind of shit that is trending. They're continually shooting of styles and techniques that they see elsewhere, that they see on social media, that they see on TikTok. Obviously, doing that's not great in the long run. It's not great for your photography style. And by the way, it's likely a waste of your talent. When you're approaching photography with an imitation-based headspace, what's going on with your own style? It's non-existent. Your photography right now is a mishmash of techniques that you've seen other photographers do. And you change it up every time you look through the camera. Well, yeah, but it's my work. I own the copyright. Yeah, but nobody cares. Your work looks like everybody else's. There's nothing specific or memorable about it. Likely, no one's hiring you for big budget shoots from your pictures on Instagram. When you're a Style of the Month shooter, you have no legacy. If you base your style on trends, you're flipping your ideas every session. You're flipping how you shoot every season. Long term, not a sustainable business model. When you use your camera as a path to imitate rather than innovate, it's for sure a path to mediocrity. You want to be the one that's being imitated. Contemporary recognizable shooters. I was showing you Corey Vanderplu, one of my former assistants earlier. They have a recognizable style and they have success based on their technique, their visual style, and their signature. Our style, by the way, is so important. I can type Martin Scholler close up, and I hope you know who this photographer is. This photographer got famous for one photo. You do see that this is the same photo over and over again with just slight variations in background, but the light, the perspective, the photo, the idea is always the same. Martin Scholler became a household name for one photo. So now you actually can see how important style actually is. When you think about a photographer like Platon, who is a photographer that I've been looking at for, almost 20 years. When you look at Platon, he is another photographer that got household name recognition for one distinct signature style. Let's go, Timo. Glad you're here. By the way, if you are watching live, I thank you. If you're watching this as a preview or as a replay, is what I'm trying to say, I thank you as well. My content is valid whether you're watching it live or after the fact. The great thing about watching live, we get to interact and I get to talk to you. So consider tuning in live if you're watching the replay. Platten is another photographer. Jamil Shabazz. You know I've done so much content on Jamil Shabazz. These three photographers have unmistakable styles that make their photographs scream their name without even a photo credit. The list of contemporary photographers that have a distinct, unmistakable style is too long to go over. Their unique work that they create, you know it's mind-blowing, obviously. Work so unique. Photographers who have work that's so unique, it's like they've never looked at another photographer. New photographers have to realize this. It's very important. Your photography style, your visual signature, the way that you see through the camera is your route to success. There's no other way to say it. How you see through the camera, what you shoot, how you shoot, the rules that you follow, that's the key to success. People recognizing your photographs without knowing you, that's the key to success. People who are recognizing your look, your style. And by the way, once you nail your visual signature, once you nail your style, your look, you can apply your visual signature to absolutely everything that you shoot. Let's have a look at Bade Fuwa. So you can see what I mean when it comes to a visual, unmistakable visual signature from just a contemporary photographer. Let's have a look at Bade Fuwa. Look at this style. It's an unmistakable style that I know when he uploads new work to Behance just based on his style. That's an incredibly powerful thing. By the way, an amazing way, and I believe the best way to develop a photographic style is through the self-directed project. And a self-directed project is an ongoing body of photographs that are related to a specific subject matter, or it's an ongoing series of personal work that's on a topic, telling a story. That's the thing that's going to help you break through. When no one's giving you assignments to shoot, you have to be doing self-directed projects. You have to be creating your own assignments, your own projects. Our own photographic passion, our passion projects, the ones that we shoot monthly, weekly, or daily, that rinse and repeat of a self-directed project that you're doing on your own, that visual act will solidify any style that you're developing. It'll help you work through your technical problems, your lighting issues, and there's no consequence. Some of the best work that you will create in your lifetime, you'll do for free. You're going to do it for the love of it. I'm going to say that again. Some of the best work that you'll create in your lifetime, you're going to do it it'll be free, and you're going to be doing it for yourself or for your own self-directed project, for the love of it, from the heart. Personal work is how you develop as a shooter, but you should develop it. You have to develop your personal work. You have to have a reason for why you're shooting your personal work, why you're working on this self-directed project. You should write about it. Having an active body of personal work is a very fast way to develop your photography style And if you write about your photography, it helps you develop the why you do it this way. And from this work, from these personal projects, our style, our visual signature, our portfolio, from these personal projects, our portfolio is born. From going out on a limb with an idea, from being hyper decisive about our pictures, that's where the most defined aspects of our visual signature come from. That's where they're born. This work, the work that we become the most passionate about sharing, and it's this work that has the potential to completely define or redefine your photographic style. Your style is why you get hired. Your style is what will leave your clients speechless. How you shoot. It's that style of the amazing photography that you look at that can't be articulated. You need to create that. You need that nuance. You need that special sauce to your photographs. That is what clients notice. You need to take a stand, have a perspective. You gotta have a way that you shoot. And by the way, don't be the one that's asking, what do I shoot next? Be the one telling people what you're shooting next, because you have that self-directed project so defined in your mind. And we all need elements in our photographs that only we do, that rinse and repeat group of rules that we do, that hook, that anchor. Just like I need a hook to grab you to watch a YouTube video, our photography also needs a hook. How we go about developing that hook, that unmistakable style, is not by adding things to what we do. In fact, we should be limiting them. We should be removing things that we do with our photos that aren't working, removing things in our style that aren't working. Our visual signature, our style, is the most important thing in our photography. We apply our visual signature, our style, to everything that we shoot. Your style, not am I gonna get jobs, will I work? Your style is what should be keeping you up at night. How you shoot, what lenses you use, your perspective, your take, the way in which you shoot. That visual signature thing, that's the thing that you have to make your own. And we need rules. I'm going to give you some of my rules. As I scan through my website, I'm going to talk over some of my rules. I'm just going to do a quick scan of my portfolio, and you tell me if you see my rules right away. So here are my rules, okay? In studio, I always shoot to black, white, or gray, but sometimes it's a color. With artificial light, I place lights in two ways: front light or Rembrandt lighting, but sometimes it's backlit. I only shoot people, but I also shoot street, small products, and so many other things. But the perception is that I only shoot people. I always shoot straight on, pretty much. I only shoot prime lenses. I do own a 24-70 that I use for video. I do own a 70-200 that I use rarely, but I shoot 50, 85, 100, 135. On location, I only shoot in open shade, but sometimes it's front light or Rembrandt light or it's backlight if it's perfect. I don't shoot weddings, babies, parties, events. I've shot all of these things in my career selectively, but you will never know that when you look at my portfolio. All of my black and white tones are monochromatic without a warm or sepia tone or a cold tint. All my black and white is straight black and white. I don't show anything in my portfolio that doesn't fall within my style. Even if I shoot client work, I don't share it if it's not work that I'm trying to do more of. I have a straight up approach to making photographs that makes you think that you could make that picture, but you can't. I have so many rules that I've created for myself over the years being a photographer. As I've developed this style, it's easy to say, I don't shoot like that when you know how you shoot. It's super easy. When someone asks you to do a composite and you don't do composites, it's easy to say, it's not my style. I don't do that. You should hire somebody who is a composite specialist. And when that composite specialist gets the call like, hey, can you do this straight up portrait for me? They should be saying, you should call Cardi. He shoots straight up portraits better than anybody, you know? Have you ever been hired, by the way, to shoot something because they like you as a person, but they want you to shoot like someone else? What do you do in that situation? Usually I say, why not hire that photographer? If you're using their images for reference and you're asking me to shoot that way anyways, you should just call them. By the way, thank God that hasn't happened in years. Usually it's by somebody who doesn't have a lot of vision for photography or the industry. But you can redirect them and talk to them a little bit about style. Okay, on style, here are some of the key points that I want you to take home with you, okay? We're about to get into part number 2. The key points to take away about style is this. Your visual signature is the most important thing in your photography, period. Your visual signature is the most important thing in your photography, period. You apply your visual signature or your style to everything that you shoot. That's number 2. Number 3, your visual signature, your photographic style is the thing that should be keeping you up at night. That, your style, how you shoot, should be keeping you up at night, not will I get work? Because you will get work if you have an amazing style. The way in which you shoot, you need to make that your own. If you focus primarily on portraits, the way that you shoot portraits should make it show you could shoot any stranger, anytime, in your style. And the last thing you should remember always, there's no excuses. Nobody is responsible for making you famous. Nobody is responsible for making you famous. No one's responsible for making you a better photographer. Only you care. So how you become a better photographer is you have to take hold of your career and guide it. You can't be looking left and right and be aimless. You have to be laser focused. And it really starts with your style, how you shoot. The second part goes hand in hand. And part 2 of this whole thing, by the way, if you're still watching, my smiling face and my high energy, I appreciate you. Know that I do this every Sunday behind the picture for you in order to help you become a better photographer. I don't have to make content. I'm a working photographer, but I make content because I mentor photographers in person. I mentor my assistants. My assistants go on to being photographers. So I'd like to help more people. How can I help more people other than doing it on YouTube? So that's why we're here. The second thing, the second most important thing that you need in order to like jumpstart, launch, propel your career, it's the second most critical point, specializing. For those that have watched me before, you've heard me say how important specializing is. If you've just found this video today, know this. Specializing is the second most critical point to progressing as a photographer. Be a master. Be the best in class in that category. If you're interested in shooting macros, shoot just macros for a whole year and see what your photography looks like after that. You interested in shooting portraits? Shoot with one lens and shoot black and white for an entire month and see what your portraits look like then. People who have the power to hire us, photo editors, designers, art directors, they're looking for specialists. They want the best in class to execute the ideas that they have for their pages, their cover, their advertisements. The jack of all trades, master of some concept with photography is long since gone. It's over. If you want to have your limited edition, one of a kind car photographed, you're not hiring a guy that, or a girl, that shoots weddings, parties, portraits, fashion, horses, and cars. You're hiring a car specialist, the best photographer that you can find that specializes in shooting cars, that has a cool visual signature, a cool style, that is technically perfect, and has great ideas. You will not be looking for a generalist when you have top dollar to spend on photographing your new piece of tech, your fashion portfolio. Yeah, but I want to get as much work as possible, so I shoot lots of different things so I can get lots more work, right? Specialists get work on a level that generalists can't even comprehend. Specialists get that work that generalists don't because generalists aren't usually great at any one thing. There are exceptions. If you're a generalist that's brilliant at everything, or if you know a generalist that's better at everything, leave it in comments, please. The reason that generalists, I believe, aren't amazing, spectacular at any one thing is because they're spread too thin. They haven't taken the time or done the hours in any one area. Yes, they might be getting lots of work from friends or random individuals, relatives, or just people who are taken by your pretty photography. But working for actual clients, for magazines, working for ad agencies, if you're trying to do that kind of work, it's off the table if you're a generalist. You need to be a specialist to even touch advertising, editorial work, or anything like that. Clearly, by the way, I'm a people specialist when it comes to my photography. So I photograph people. I have a specific style or a way that I photograph people. I also have a way that I get my subjects comfortable in front of my camera. I like to think that I'm likable, I'm quick, and I'm on point with my deliverables. And I've been shooting people for 30 years. I've expanded my style. I've scrapped my style. I've reinvented my style. I've reinvented myself. I've switched from film to digital, all while staying true to my core visual sensibilities. I can look back at a photograph that I made 30 years ago. Why don't we do that? Why don't we look at a fashion photo and a portrait of mine from 30 years ago. I'll show you a portrait, my first most amazing portrait that I shot when I was 22. And I want you to notice the style and think about my style now. I shot this photo when I was, oops, look at my fingerprints. I shot this photo when I was 22. My first real portrait. This photo, my first real fashion picture, I shot when I was 24. Can you notice my style then and my style now? My style closer to more recent? You can see that my core values, oops, there it is. My core values, the core look and feel of my photography is the same. It's because I worked hard on developing my photographic style, I realized early as well that timeless and classic went further than trendy and fashionable. So I went classic, timeless. Classic and timeless never go out of style. So I wholeheartedly developed my look and feel to be classic and timeless because I want you to be able to look at my photography decades from now, centuries from now, and I want my photos to have relevance. Classic and timeless never goes out of style. So classic and timeless is my wheelhouse. I use my personal work to experiment. I create my experimental work out of my personal work, which becomes editorial or commercial work. When I'm experimenting and shooting quote unquote personal work and I'm trying ideas, let me find a great personal work example. This example right here. This was a test. I was photographing with the new Elinchrom ELC light, which had this stroboscopic effect. So I could fire multiple pick, all in the same picture. So flash, 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 flash. I leave the shutter open for 2 seconds and I pan the camera a little bit and I create this effect. This started as personal work. This was the very first picture that I did this way. After I did this picture, I knew that I wanted to photograph a model with this same sensibility. So I also, by the way, that light that I was testing, I quickly bought it because I knew in buying this one head, I could completely change my style. So I bought that head, and this was the second shoot that I did with that head. And I brought in a ballet dancer, I shot nudes, and I created a new style that still fit within my visual sensibility, but what I was able to do was create movement in a still picture. This was an evolution of a technique. So thanks for watching, Vicky. I appreciate you being here. After I tried that technique, I wanted to do something else. And the next natural thing for me to do after I shot a dancer was to shoot beauty. And of course, the beauty session was the next thing that I tried. And here now I'm shooting beauty. And you can see mixing my multiplicity, which is what I ended up calling this. This is multiple shots on the same frame. I call it multiplicity. I really started turning this from the second or third session into something that could end up being commercial work. So that was session number 2. And then I started getting hired to shoot multiplicity, or better still, I started to apply this technique to jobs. This is the first commercial job that I did using that technique. For a clothing brand, showing the clothing, being able to show the front, back, and side of a hoodie all in one photograph. So, multiplicity with commercial application. This is the second time I managed to get commercial application out of personal work. And then, of course, from there, I got hired by Nike. And when I got hired by Nike Women, I decided to use this technique for Nike. And here is Renee for Nike Women. So I'm showing you the evolution of how a technique that started as personal work ended up being commercial work and how quickly it happened. All of this happened within 3 months. So I hope that that's inspiring. I use my personal work to experiment. I create experimental work out of my personal work, and that becomes editorial work and eventually commercial work. So, um, you have to find your style. You have to invent your style. You have to reimagine your style, and you have to create rules for yourself so you can find a way to shoot that you can make your own. And you got to shoot lots of photographs. Your photographic style doesn't just happen, it's born. And you really have to stop looking at Instagram. Style and specializing. Specializing, looking back at my work, I hope that it's clear what it is that I specialize in just looking at my portfolio. I shoot people. I try to make people the star. And if you look at any of my past assistants, Corey Vanderplu, who I showed you earlier, Corey's work is absolutely bananas. And if you see how his style has developed and the jobs that he's doing based on his very simple, clean style, his use of color, he's got a very beautiful, elegant way of making photographs. This is Corey Vanderplu. If you look at Wade Hudson is another photographer who assisted me for a very long time. And if you look at Wade's signature style, again, you see the people who I've had or I've mentored over the years have managed to create work that doesn't look like mine. It looks like theirs, but they've taken the elements of magazine rules, editorial photography, style, specializing, and they've put it together to create a body of work that gets work. It's kind of a no-brainer, you know? Yes, I hope you're finding today's episode helpful. And the last thing I want to say, this is really important. You have to ask yourself this. Are you juggling like this whole photography thing right now? And are you judging your successes and your failures based only on your Instagram interactions? When you judge your successes based on your social media likes or lack of likes, it's definitely hurtful for your brain and your headspace. Know that your Instagram viewers, your Instagram followers, they often don't have the power or the need to hire you at the level that you're hoping for in your photography career. Remember this, many of the Instagram followers or viewers that you have are other photographers. They might be photography lovers. People who find you through Instagram are usually surprised when they ask you or say something like, hey, I'd love to shoot with you. They're usually surprised when you say that it costs money. Many people who reach out to you through Instagram, through your DMs, have never hired a photographer. They've never hired a photographer. So when you say it costs money, they're going to be surprised. Many, not all of them. And there are exceptions to this rule, but this is just stuff for you to remember. Most of your time on Instagram will be spent educating people about how to hire you. Potential clients look at websites. They look at Behance, and they look at the promotional material that gets mailed to them when it comes to hiring photographers. They check Behance and websites of people who they've bookmarked already weekly, and they use Behance to find new shooters to work with. They're rarely looking at Instagram. So how you need to use Instagram is to be finding those accounts, people who have Instagram accounts and they're labeled art director, photo editor, designer. See the fashion stylist. Look at the creative director. You can search creative director and it'll just give you a list of them. Reach out to those people once you feel like you've gone through that five tips for mastering the cold reach out. You got to watch that video next, by the way. Um, that's basically what I do. I use Instagram, yes, to showcase my portfolio, but I'm also using it to like reach out to potential people or at least find where they work so I can follow their links in bio, find their professional design website, and then correspond with them that way so it seems more professional. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you are inspired. I hope you're inspired. Style and specializing. Those two things will change your game. Figure out what it is that you want to specialize in. Do you want to shoot cars? Do you want to shoot food? Do you want to shoot portraits? Do you want to shoot weddings? Do you want to shoot babies? Do you want to shoot documentary? Do you want to shoot sports? Do you want to shoot athletes? Do you want to shoot musicians? Figure out what that niche is. You can also expand that niche to just people, places, things, but you got to be good at categorizing those people like I do, categorizing those places and things. I shoot cannabis. I have a lot of cannabis content and cannabis clients that I've worked on over the last 4 or 5 years because cannabis is federally legal in Canada. But on my website, rather than having cannabis mixed in with my regular work, I just have my own cannabis website where all that it is here is cannabis content. And when you look at my portfolio here, it is just cannabis content because this work, although mine, doesn't fit within my main portfolio. So for people who are trying to hire me, cannabis brands, to shoot this type of work, they want an entire photographer who's dedicated to doing just this. So better to have an entire website just on this content so I don't confuse my viewers. So fun fact, cannabis website, when you click my main site and click cannabis content, it just takes you to a 19 plus cannabis site. And it's very organized. I have dried flower, so you can look at only dried flower. I'm going to answer your question in 2 seconds, Will. Living plants, and it's all just plants that are growing. So again, this is how I set up my cannabis site, grow facility. And I have all kinds of grow facility shots where I've been hired to shoot trimming and plants being grown and blah, blah, blah. And of course, products. All the product photography that I do that you don't see, much of it is related around cannabis. So my cannabis product photography. So I hope that helps you. If you do have niches that are very different, create a new site for that niche. If you shoot weddings secretly, but are trying to not shoot weddings and or also add other things, have 2 separate sites. I don't believe that you should have weddings, parties, babies, events on the same site that you're trying to shoot commercially and editorially. I hope today's episode helped you. Before we finish, we got some good news. I know you guys have been helping me get to this milestone, which is the YouTube partnership program. I've been working on getting into the YouTube partnership program for almost 2 years. Guess what? We have made all of the requirements to get into the YouTube partnership program. I have made my hours. I have applied. And I am in process of being reviewed. So thank you if you helped me get to that point where I was at 4,000 hours. I just randomly checked. I think it was Friday. I just randomly checked and the page didn't look the same anymore. And I was trying to find my hours and they were gone. And I was like, oh, and I saw that it said, you can apply for the partnership program, and that's what we did yesterday. So thank you, everybody who has helped me get in there. Will is asking, is there any plans to speak on website design in the future? And the answer is yes. In fact, I'm actually going to be making specific content on website design. I think I'm going to have to do a multi-part playlist or a course. It's basically going to be a course. It's impossible for me to do everything that needs to happen in a what I would call photography website design course in a single episode. But to help you get going, I've made I'm going to find this for you so you can actually, let me just go to my YouTube channel. I'm going to find this link for you and post it in chat, Will, in the meantime, so you can find at least this video, which is called, let me just search website. So yes, 10 essential things that every photography website needs. I'd like you to start with this video, which is massive. It's almost a course, and I actually should pull it down and turn this into the first part of the course, but that is the link for you, Will. Watch that video. It gets into 10 essentials that every photo website needs. It's deep, and I go through so many sites that work, sites that don't. And yes, I'm going to basically be creating a course on just that. Guys, if you like my smiling face, please hit the like button because you're into smiles. If you are obsessed about photography like I am and all the people who watch this channel, you need to subscribe. I do Behind the Picture every Sunday. I do Ask a Photo Pro every Tuesday and Thursday. Ask a Photo Pro is at 6 p.m. Behind the Pictures at 2 p.m. I also have a Discord, the largest growing photography Discord, according to me, with no stats on the internet. So if you'd like to submit your photos, if you'd like to have your photos reviewed, definitely join the Discord. The description of the video that you're watching, the Discord link's there. I also have a sick merch store, which you can buy Behind the Picture merch. You can buy, it's really, this shirt is in white. This shirt doesn't even exist anymore. So have a look at my merch stores. I have amazing stuff for creatives and photographers to wear while you're shooting. What else? Oh, dude, well, who's this guy?
God fucking no.
Who did that? Where did this guy come from? Oh my God. That guy doesn't like me at all. You guys like me though, right? I hope you guys like me still after all this talk of helping me get to the YPP monetization program. Yes, you still like me? Okay, good. Guys, I appreciate you for watching. Know that you get better every single time you look through that camera. Know that this live streaming journey with you has been the most fun ever. The most fun. Expect more live streams. The live streams are not stopping, but when I do get into this YPP, this YouTube membership program, we're going to do a special stream because I'm going to be talking about some things I'd like to do with this channel in order to evolve it to the next level as well. Memberships are coming. You guys are going to be able to be members. I'm going to talk about all of that stuff once we get into that YPP officially. And I'm very excited, guys. Today was going to be a celebration stream, but I figure we'll save that celebration stream for when I get actually accepted and I'm allowed to actually talk about all these things. So know this, season 5 is coming. Season 5 is coming. It is around the corner. I appreciate you. If you guys have any ideas for new episodes, if you have any ideas like Will just has, he's asking me for content on website creation for photographers. That's going to end up being a full playlist, a multi-part series. So expect that to come soon. I appreciate you guys for watching. Watch this cool outro, and I will see you guys on Tuesday, unless there's a surprise stream before then. See you later. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Half of you guys are watching my content and you're not subscribed. Make sure you hit the like button. Likes are how more people find out about this stream. And leave a comment. Leave a comment right now on the thing today that helped you the most. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you keep shooting. We got big plans this week. Thanks everybody for watching. Creator code for Hex brand bags is in the video description, Will. Make sure you check it. You just need to use my offer code